Hey, what's up guys? ChamberDown. I just wanted to do a quick video letting all of you know how much I really appreciate the support over the last year, because as of February 16th, I have been making Rift YouTube videos for a full year, which is pretty fantastic. And we're about to hit 1,400 subscribers, which is also pretty fantastic, and completely blew my expectations out of the water. I know Rift's not a very large game, but I definitely was not expecting to have that many subscribers after just a year. So thank you guys a lot for that, really. I also wanted to give you guys a little bit of backstory on me and why I do these guides in the first place. But before we start, I hope you guys like the new introduction. Originally, it did have some more epic kind of style music. If you want to see what it looked like before, you can like my Facebook page. And both of the videos for the introduction are posted there to get some feedback. I did have a couple people that were like, hey, I like the new video, but I think you should render it with your old music because that's kind of like your channel's identity. And I was like, that's a very interesting point. So I just went ahead and rendered it with the old music, and I actually ended up liking it. So that's what I went ahead and went with. So I really hope you guys liked it. So how did all of this start? How did I end up doing YouTube videos? Well, originally I was with an older guild about a year and a half ago, and we had a couple of people that were asking about builds that I was running, and I was like, oh sure, I'll show you, because I really like to help people. So I was like, sure, let's go to a dummy and we'll see if we can help you out. And I think it was Ranger that they were asking about. So we went ahead and I showed them how to play and stuff, and I was like, what if I could do a video guide on this? So I went ahead and I started putting like a template together and started trying to do some recording and things like that, and messing around. And the first couple videos I made were absolute trash. They were terrible, worst things I've ever created. And I'm really glad they're deleted now, because I know some people would probably request that I post them up so they can see how bad it was. But anyway, I made those videos and I ended up deleting them. But the first actual video that I came out with that I uploaded was that Inquisitor video, and that was on February 16th. That's the first one that I uploaded. And I wasn't really planning on going very far with this. I just kind of wanted to upload one and see what happened. Well, it turns out it was really well received. People actually really liked the guide. So I was like, oh cool, maybe I'll just keep doing this and see if it helps people out. And to date, I still get a lot of positive messages both in game, on my Facebook page, through email, all different places saying, hey man, thanks for the guide. Seriously, they really helped me out. And that's kind of what keeps me going on this, is just all the positive feedback. So had it not been as well received as that first Inquisitor video was, then I may not be doing this right now, so it's pretty cool stuff. So what keeps me going on this whole project, right? And like I said before, kind of the positive messages is huge. It's like every time I get somebody that says, hey man, you really changed the way I play this game, or hey man, thanks so much for putting this in perspective, you just made it so much easier for me to play this spec, things like that really keeps me going, really helps me keep making new content, because it keeps the game alive. It keeps people playing Rift, and that's the ultimate goal, is what we want. We want people to keep playing Rift. We want people to keep playing the game that we all love to play. So, and the other part of that is like my main goal for this channel, and I've said this from the very beginning, is that I want to help people have a positive gaming experience. Because had I myself not had a positive gaming experience when I first started playing Rift, I might not still be playing it, and that's the truth. So that's my main goal here, because most people know that to make any kind of money on YouTube, you got to have a lot of subscribers. You have to have a lot of subscribers. So I don't make a whole lot of money doing this. I do this mostly because I enjoy doing it. So how do I choose what I do? How do I choose what guide I'm going to do next, or what project I'm going to start working on, right? So this is an interesting question. The main way that I did this in the beginning was I took a look at all the different YouTube channels that were out there currently. The biggest ones out there were Seaton at the time. And I think at the time he was starting to take his break. And we also had Grim. And Seaton and Grim were the biggest two, I believe. And Seaton was doing pretty much almost all the content. He was doing like PvE and PvP. And some raid stuff, and some like chronicles and that kind of stuff. And Grim was doing a lot of that kind of stuff too, but his is primarily a PvP channel. So I figured, okay, well Seaton's taking a break, and we have Oriya, which at the time was doing a lot of the raid guides and stuff. And then you also had Intim, which was doing a lot of everything as well. So I was like, well, maybe I'll focus on PvE guides for now, and then later on branch out based on new YouTubers coming up, and old YouTubers dropping off, that kind of thing. So that's what I kind of did. I was like, okay, I'll start off with the PvE stuff, and people really like that. And that was kind of where I fell into my niche. So although I really want to do all that extra types of content and stuff, I kind of felt that it was of the most benefit to the community if I did the PvE stuff, since most of the other stuff was already covered pretty thoroughly. So that's kind of how I chose what I did in the beginning. I also have this, and you guys have probably heard me talking about this before, I have this mythical guide list, as I call it, which is essentially just a Word file that has all my projects and stuff on it. And then every time somebody votes on something, or not votes, but suggests something, like say, hey, can I get a Beastmaster guide? I put that as a tally mark on this list. And right now, Beastmaster is smashing all the rest of the other classes or the callings and builds simply because so many people have requested it. But the main reason that guide hasn't gotten made yet is because if a developer or somebody from Tryon mentions that a build is going to change, then typically I'll try and delay that guide until after the change so I can make sure it stays as fresh and relevant as long as humanly possible. And that's just because it's a lot of work to create these guides. There's a lot of research that goes into it. And I try to look at every piece of theory crafting that I can on whatever build I'm working on, regardless if I think I know the spec well or not, because I want to try and give you guys the most highest quality content that I possibly can with the most amount of community-led theory crafting. So that's what I try and do, and I try to make sure that everything stays relevant for a good long time for you guys as well. So that's pretty much how I choose what I do, guys. That's I have the guide list, and I try to make sure I keep it diverse, So, but what's next, right? So that doesn't mean I'm not going to do PvP guides or raid guides or whatever else you guys want to see, because I mean I eventually am going to do that, and I'm actually thinking about doing a couple other different series as well that I may or may not announce here pretty shortly. But anyway, what's next, right? So a few folks at Tryon actually liked a video that I did recently. It was a 46 soul video. So basically what it did is it took 30 seconds for each soul and rift, 46 total of course, and I just explained like here's the play style, here's kind of what elements they use, here's kind of like what it looks like in a battle, and then it goes on to the next soul. Now this video is pretty cool because it's like it promotes the game. If you're new to the game and you come in and you're like, oh, I don't really know what Warlock does, then you can watch the video and you can watch what Warlock does, and it'll keep going and show you what Elementalist does and Pyro and all these different souls and what they do. So it's really nice for new and returning players to kind of help them choose what they want to do. So what else is next? So I'm going to do more class guides, of course. I probably have, I think my last tally was like 13 or something like that, more class guides that I have to do. I should probably have had my guide list up so I could quote this stuff, but there's like 13 more guides that I'm going to do. And then I also have a couple other cool like gameplay style videos that I want to do. Like I want to show people how the soul system works, and I want to show them how you synergize souls together, So, because you get a lot of people out there that first start playing the game that are like, hey, I want to do a Riftstalker and a Bard build, and that's not really practical for in-game content, but it's fine for soloing kind of thing. But I want to explain why it's not practical, and I want to show people what kind of synergy you're aiming for with these hybrids. That's going to be a guide that's going to be coming up here pretty soon. The other part of that is I love to PvP. I just don't do a lot of PvP videos because right now YouTube is saturated with Rift PvP videos. There's a lot of them out there. And like I said before, I wanted to make sure that if I'm going to spend the time to make guides for you guys or to make content for you guys, I'm going to give you guys stuff that you can't already get. And that's why I do so many PvE guides, because there's already PvP stuff out there. You guys can already watch PvP stuff. But eventually I will try and do more videos. Right now I'm releasing probably one every 1 or 2 weeks or so is where I'm at now, because I do have a wife and 2 children. I do have to make sure that I'm balancing my time with them. However, I do want to try and release 1 or 2 videos a week. I'm thinking a guide and maybe like some PvP footage, but that's undetermined at this time. But anyway, guys, that's long enough. I just wanted to say thank you for all the comments, messages, emails, real life and in-game donations, and I will see you guys next time.